Hi, this is Kevin Thomas, and I normally would say welcome to the At Home Film Festival, but this is a different episode this week. We are giving our regards to Broadway musicals. The Tony Awards are just around the corner and will be announced very soon. But this is one of the best seasons, I think, ever for musicals. It doesn't have any grandiose big musicals that will be front runners like a Sweeney Todd or a Hamilton or a Chorus Line, but it does have a lot of great quality. And if you stick with me to the end, you will see a category that is so chock full that there's going to be many disappointments because not everybody could make the top 5. Let's see what we've got in store. Let's go now. The first show I want to talk about kind of saddens me, A Wonderful World, the Louis Armstrong story. This closed, so it's probably forgotten by the Tony voters. Movies, even when they leave the theater, you could watch them at home at any time. And a lot of shows are filmed for the audiences at home through like Broadway HD, but a lot go unseen till a revival. And this show was so good, especially I wished it was still around because lead star James Monroe Iglehart becomes Louis Armstrong. He gives a great performance. I loved him in this. According to predictors, he's not going to be even nominated, but he is so wonderful in this. In fact, take a listen, shall you?
I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark secret nights, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yeah.
Wow. I have chills hearing that. He is so talented. By the way, he's from the Bay Area, but his chances to be Tony nominated are not high because this show closed already. So sad. Please, Tony voters, if you're watching, vote for James Monroe Iglehart. Also, there's so many great shows on Broadway right now. I cannot cover them all because I haven't seen them all yet. I will be seeing a few very hopeful ones soon. But April 27th, you have until that day to open on Broadway to qualify for a Tony Award. And I think the nominations are like May 2nd or 3rd. So there isn't very much time to vote with this committee, but they will do it, and I'm sure it will be tough. But here's another great performance that I think will definitely win a Tony. I don't like predicting winners before the nominations because they can be snubbed, and then I look like a stupid person. I look like a stupid person in other ways too sometimes, now that I think about it. But anyway, let's take a look at another great performance that is the leader to win Best Featured Actor in a Musical. Jack Malone is the frontrunner for Best Featured Actor in a Musical from this show, Operation Mincemeat. It's a British show based upon a true story. It transferred from the London stage to New York, where it won a bunch of awards in London. It is riotously funny, and it's got that really fun British sense of humor, a little upper crust and a lot of physical comedy. But then there's this moment where his character sings this sad song. They're trying to write a poem to make it look like this fictitious character they invented is real. And he says, no, it really should be more of a letter. And in the midst of all this riotous comedy, we have this letter that we get to hear that will tear our hearts out, especially 3 minutes into the song. So when you watch the show, wait for that, and you will know as your heart leaves your body.
'Cause talking to roses is mad and you knew that. When you whispered sweet nothings to flowers to make my dad cross. And we laughed and it did. And why did we meet in the middle of a war? What a silly thing for anyone to do. Your sister sends her love, of course, and your mother is the same as ever. Diana's piano is getting much better.
So Operation Mincemeat will probably also be up for Best Musical, and it's got like 6 or 7 actors, and they play all the parts. And whether it's a man playing a woman playing a man playing a man, a woman playing a woman. They just are so diverse and talented. And he in particular would definitely, well, I can't say definitely, but will likely be Tony nominated. And I'm pretty sure he'll win. And there's a bunch of buzz about the revival of Sunset Boulevard. It's really well crafted, it's modernized, an old tale, and people aren't talking as much about Tom Francis, who will likely be up for a Tony for Best Actor. He does this title song, Sunset Boulevard, where he actually leaves the theater and films it on the street partially with a camera, because it's about movies, so there's always a camera. And oh my God, my friends I saw with thought that was recorded, but if you go to social media, you will see that he will sing it in the rain, in the sleet, in the snow, in the sun, walking down the street. There's people always clearing the path, making room for him to come down the street and sing the song. I love the way he could do this because nothing stops him on the street, and he's got an earpiece so he hears the orchestra, and he comes in well-timed right when he's supposed to in this song. I don't know if there's markers on the street, but this is an amazing feat which would help the show with the Tony nomination and win for Best Revival of a Musical, and very much help him, Tom Francis, be nominated because he did win the Olivier Award. But now, let's talk about Best Actress. Best Actress will be the toughest race of all this year. In fact, months ago, I think the category was solidified with quality nominees. But since then, there have been more that opened. We've had old friends with Tony winners Bernadette Peters and Lea Salonga. We have Idina Menzel and Redwood. Those are all great performances. But there's so many great candidates for this that I think they won't make the final cut. There are 4 in particular that I think will lead the way, that will leave one spot, just one spot. But let's look at our leading contenders, shall we? 5th place might be Helen J. Chen from Maybe Happy Ending, a show that snuck out of nowhere and became one of the critics' darlings and a leader for many Tony Awards. She is fantastic in this, as is Darren Criss, who will likely be nominated as well. I also wouldn't count out Jasmine Amy Rogers for Betty Boop the Musical for the 5th spot for Best Actress. It's kind of gotten mixed reviews, but it is a fun, energetic musical, and she is being singled out as the best thing about the show. So let's not count her out. Death Becomes Her is the funniest show on Broadway right now, and I am going to see it for the 3rd time. I'm spending money for a 3rd time. I saw it in its out-of-town tryout. I followed it to New York. I'm going back, but first of all, Jennifer Samard is always sublime. She's already been nominated for 2 Tony Awards in her past, and she is so funny. And Megan Hilty is so funny too. I do not see a Tony Awards category without their names in it because they are so great in this show. I love both of them so much. I also want this up for Best Musical and so many other ones, but they do have stiff competition, but I think they're going to make the top 5. But one of our most hotly contested and probably possible winner, she will be duking it out, Nicole Scherzinger, for Sunset Boulevard, one of the most acclaimed performances of the year. It's made other actresses who played the part take notice. They think she's great. The only thing standing in her way is one other actress. I'm going to tell you who she is. That's why this is the toughest category ever. You ready? Our last contender is Audra McDonald in Gypsy. Okay, if Audra did not already have 6 Tony Awards, she would definitely be the winner. She makes this part her own. She brings so much to it, and yet it's been on Broadway 5 other times. And of those 5 other times, all the actresses were nominated for Best Actress, and 3 of them won. So Audra's chances of winning are great, and they love her. The only reason she wouldn't win is they go, well, she's already got 6 Tony Awards, but the quality of her work, there's seldom the word tie, but if her and Nicole were tied, I would be so happy. What do you think? And there are so many other great actresses this year. It could have a second tier of Best Actress. Other years, Idina Menzel would definitely be running up for Best Actress, and Bernadette Peters and Lea Salonga would not be forgotten, but this is such a busy year. It's so exciting. I'm so thrilled. Yay! Well, that's our show of the week. I hope you share, subscribe, and come back and look out for the Tony nominations early May. We are leaving with other classic Broadway musicals. Maybe some from this year will join this list of great musicals. It's really exciting. If you're not in New York, go. And if you can't go to New York, look up Broadway HD. Maybe you'll find something there. And if you're not going to do that, wait for some of these shows to tour and come to your town. They are so good. So good. Okay, bye.